Brazil has an area, and I cannot remember what. Oh gosh, this is going to bother me. I can't remember what it is. I've talked about it on episodes before. That has like incredible density of wildlife.
The Amazon?
No, Hello and welcome to the Worldwide Honeymoon Travel Podcast, the podcast that talks about all things couples travel, including destinations, tips, advice, and more. I'm Chris.
I'm Kat.
And this is episode number 227.
Yes. What's up?
It's going to be a similar theme to an episode that we did 30 episodes ago.
Okay.
Well, 30 episodes if you look at the episode number. I think I may have said episode 196 on mistake
I
in
think
that
this
episode.
was like that one time that we accidentally said the wrong episode title, but it was actually episode 197.
So this is my fault.
No,
I
don't know.
I
It
will.
happens.
No. I will own that. Yeah. I am. I'm pretty excited. I know that you're pretty excited.
Mm-hmm.
What is coming up?
The Women's World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not Quidditch either. Football, as our nephew will say.
Yes, our nephew David. He is going to be playing soccer this summer, and we were like, "Oh yeah, that's so exciting! You're starting soccer," because in the U.S. we call it soccer, and he was like, "Actually, it's football."
Fantastic.
I was like, "Okay."
He always has those like little quips when like you're talking to him.
Yeah, I know, because
He
you were
never
calling it
does it
soccer, and
right.
he never said anything to you. And then it was like, I was like, oh yeah, soccer, that sounds great. I'm really excited for you. And he's like, actually, it's football to me, but not to you.
Yeah, well, because like
Right.
your brother was like, yeah, it's pretty exciting. Like David's gonna, he's gonna start playing soccer, and I was like, oh, David, that's awesome. Like if you ever want to watch it together, if you ever want to play it, like when we're visiting, I will 100% do that with you. You're gonna have a great time. I played soccer when I was your age. He's gonna be playing it in a much warmer climate than I did in Northeast Ohio. I loved playing soccer in Texas. Like, if we had stayed in Texas growing up, I think soccer would have been my sport because that was my favorite sport. And then I came up
Really?
here and it was outdoor soccer. And I specifically remember it was like one of my first practices. And I had to go to the car because my mom stayed there.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go to the car and she had to turn on the heat and I had to take my cleats off and like warm my toes in front of the heater because I had thin, weak blood and I had not yet built up this thick northern blood yet.
My goodness.
Yeah,
Well, and you're also a big fan of the Premier League.
I am. So
Yeah.
are you. Who's your team?
The as I like to call them, the Tater Tots. But
Triggered.
Tottenham.
Goodness, that's going to be starting. I am so pumped. My goal is to make David a Tottenham fan as well, even though it does kind of sign him up for a bit of misery. It'll be good.
I mean, it's like being a Browns fan, you know? You just got to be prepared to be a little bit disappointed.
You know, just a Cleveland fan.
Cleveland sports.
LeBron's not always here.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, remember when the Guardians made it to the World Series and we were on the very last game?
Why do you have to crush my hopes again?
Oh my gosh, that was a devastating.
That was a blast.
I mean, it was fun to watch, but it was devastating at the end when we lost. But that's okay.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing
Cleveland
that
sports
up.
for you. So basically, Tottenham was just like a perfect fit.
Thank you for bringing that up. But that's a long way to say that I was very excited for him to say that he was starting soccer as well.
Actually,
And
it's
then-
football.
Well, and so like I'm telling him how excited I am for it, and then you're like, "Yeah, David, that's really cool. Like, did you know that we watch soccer in the morning on the weekends?" And you go, and then that's when he goes, and he puts his little finger up too, like, "Aha," and he's like, "Actually, it's football." Just roasted.
Cheat on him.
I lost it because I was like, that is just fantastic. Good for him. Yeah, this is going to be an episode about football. Before we get into the episode, do you have a highlight from this past week?
Well, we did a little hike yesterday and went to a brewery for dinner, which was fun. And Taylor Swift
Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
No. She released her Speak Now Taylor's version.
Oh, okay.
sorry, I'm super jealous of the people that are at Kansas City night one. My goodness. They got the new, the I Can See You that I had you listen to? That like funky song yesterday?
Was that the risque one?
The risque one that 19-year-old
Yes.
Taylor wrote. So Taylor, she made a music video and she aired it during the tour.
She made a music video for now or when she was 19?
No, she made a music video for now. And
Oh,
Taylor
okay.
Lautner's in it. It's too good. And he was at the concert last night with his wife. It was too good. It was too
my
good.
Gosh.
And then
Back to December, Taylor?
yeah, honestly, I don't know. I need to know what it's like to be Taylor Lautner, who's literally the only ex that she's ever been like, I'm sorry I broke up with you.
Yeah, I messed up.
Like, I messed up.
Back to December
And,
is
like,
a bop.
And he's just like Saint Taylor. Like, he's just, and even he's like, he gave like a really nice speech about her too, like during the concert. And then,
that was so nice that he made time to see her.
okay.
I wonder if they like started talking like about
He's
life
married.
or about their family.
No, he's married.
Well, she hadn't seen him in a while.
But like, yeah, and it was also like, what else happened? Oh, she played "Long Live," and that's going to be a part of her permanent like set list now.
That's also a fantastic song.
Yeah, because people were wondering why it wasn't, and they were like, well, it's probably because they don't want too many people like coming home from the concert and listening to like the non-Taylor's version of it until she releases the Taylor's version. And so a lot of people kind of thought that she would add more songs into the set list once she released that. You know what I
Long
mean?
Live is a great song.
It is a good song. And then she played a couple surprise songs from the Speak Now
Taylor's
yeah,
version.
yeah. So epic night. I wasn't there. I just live vicariously through TikTok.
You just
I'm
cried
hoping
at
to
a
get
brewery.
tickets for next year in Europe. We will see.
You did not cry, by the way.
Cry what at the brewery?
I said
no.
you were just crying at a brewery.
No, I wasn't. Okay. But yeah, I would say the highlight. I mean, the hike was a lot of fun, and going out to the brewery was fun with you too. Yeah.
I agree. I wrote that down as well. There was a guy who, there was live music at the brewery. We were outside. It was nice. Yeah, I mean, like good beer plus live music plus outdoor environment. That is like, that's a top 5 environment for me.
Okay.
It really is.
Yeah.
So is like coffee on like the shore of water or in the mountains pre-sunrise. Like a sunrise coffee. Great environment.
Best part. No, I can't sing that. I'm sure that's copyrighted in some way.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I appreciate you respecting intellectual property,
Yeah.
which we do.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I have. I don't know if I have much
All right.
more.
Well, do you want to dive right into? Do you want to talk kind of the premise of this episode and sort of talk about last time?
Yes.
Okay.
So, the Women's World Cup is coming up, like we mentioned, July 20th to August 20th. It is being hosted by Australia and New Zealand. How freaking cool is that? Man. So we did a Honeymoon World Cup bracket, episode 197, where I said 196, and
For the Men's World Cup.
for the Men's World Cup. And that was a little different than what we're going to do today. So, we're going to do the same sort of it's going to be the same sort of premise where 2 teams emerge from the group stage and then you go into the bracket. Quick side note, the bracket, if you search, at least at the time of recording, Women's World Cup bracket, I mean, we are 12 days out from this thing and there are 4 or 5 different brackets out there that you can look at as far as like the winner of this group plays the second place of this group. Mess.
Yeah.
Okay? It's a mess. I went with ESPN just because I chose ESPN. So that's the one I went with. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're not going to do our own individual ones. We're going to kind of have to engage in a bit of intellectual debate.
Yes, because in the last time we did the Honeymoon World Cup bracket challenge, we did our own brackets essentially.
Yes.
And compared and contrasted them.
And for last time, we were talking about the best country for a honeymoon, and the USA won for you.
Yep.
And Argentina won for me.
Yes.
So now we're going to do the best country for a romantic trip. Okay? And we're not going to necessarily, like, we can't just believe that everyone followed my advice and went to Argentina already. So, like, maybe you don't want to go to Argentina right away again.
Or the U.S.
Or we'll assume no one followed my advice.
Okay.
And everyone followed yours.
Okay.
But just clean slate here, right? So, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So the first group, Group A, is New Zealand, Norway, Switzerland, and the Philippines. What is your top destination from those four?
Okay. Can you say it again?
New Zealand, Norway, Switzerland, and the Philippines.
First place.
First place.
Gonna go with New Zealand.
I agree with you.
Okay,
Why
good.
are you gonna go New Zealand?
I just feel like it's a great romantic destination. I mean, it's adventurous as well, but it's romantic in the fact that there's, you've got the great wine regions, you've got Queenstown, which is adventurous. I have known quite a few people that have done romantic trips or honeymoons to New Zealand. Cool cities, awesome things to do, beautiful hiking and scenery. It's just absolutely stunning. I mean, there's lakes, there's mountains, the wildlife if you go on the ocean and stuff too. It's just absolutely fantastic.
The glowworm caves.
I really want to do the Waitomo glowworm caves, which I mentioned in, I believe, the last episode about the bioluminescent bays. But yeah, that would be cool.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. When I'm reading those four, my number one was also New Zealand, and it was a pretty quick determination for me.
And I would also say that the chance, I believe the night sky looks fantastic, especially when you're out in the wilderness in New Zealand, which there's a lot of wilderness in New Zealand outside the cities and things. So also very romantic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Alrighty. What would be your next choice for a romantic vacation out of Norway, Switzerland, or Philippines, knowing that you're going to leave two behind here? This is tough.
That's tough because they're all great places.
They are.
I think I'm going to go Switzerland.
Okay.
Picture it. Either it's summertime and you're hiking through the beautiful mountains and maybe paragliding together, or wintertime, cozy, ski chalet, ski during the day, get all cozy.
Ski chalet.
Yeah.
You sound like a Barbie. You sound like hiking Barbie and skiing Barbie.
Well, I'm very excited for the Barbie movie to come out. But no, I just think it's romantic. You have these beautiful, again, more mountain lakes and things, but you guys can go skiing or snowshoeing or whatever during the day, and then you have the cozy ski chalet at night, the little après ski. It's very romantic.
Oh my gosh. You may have convinced me.
What's yours?
Mine was going to be Norway.
Why? I also thought about the Philippines because just beautiful, beautiful.
I just
islands.
went with my gut, and my gut told me polar bears.
But there's not really a set. I mean, there's a cruise you can do that might see polar bears in Svalbard,
right,
but you have to go all the way up to Svalbard and Tromsø, pretty far north.
Well, see, so that's the thing, right? Is you and I have recorded an episode. I cannot remember which one it is. But we have talked about the different types of romantic trips, right? There's the wildlife trip, there's the adventure trip, there's the relaxing beach trip, there's that and how you can find romance wherever you go.
Yeah.
As much as it pains me to leave polar bears behind, I think I'll agree with you and say Switzerland.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah. And you can also go to the top of, I think no, that's in Chamonix, but yeah, I just feel Switzerland is stunning. I mean, the lakes too. I mean, so I lived in Grenoble for 6 months when I studied there, and it was close to Switzerland, and we'd go to Annecy and the lakes. There's so many beautiful mountain alpine lakes over there, and then you've got the mountains. It's absolutely stunning. And so there's more of that in Switzerland.
Okay.
So I can only imagine how beautiful and romantic that is. Hopefully we find out next year after the Olympics that we'll spend a few days in
let's hope,
maybe a smaller town in Switzerland and hike.
Maybe. Alrighty, Group B. You ready?
Yes.
So from Group A, New Zealand and Switzerland moved on. Group B, Canada, Nigeria, Australia, and the Republic of Ireland.
Ooh.
What is your top destination for a romantic trip?
Dang.
1, 2, or do you need more time?
No, I think I can get it.
1, 2, 3.
Ireland.
Australia. Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Why Ireland?
So we talked about this yesterday because we're potentially going there next year, and I just love it. There's the chance to stay in castle hotels, which is super romantic. There are castles. There are beautiful geographical things. You've got the puffins. You just have lots of beautiful, gorgeous scenery, quaint little towns everywhere that you can pop in for a pint together. You've got Dublin, you have Belfast, you've got Giant's Causeway, and like just really cool things to see in Ireland. And just the nature is stunning, and you've got lots of beautiful things to see there. And then, of course, the chance to stay in a castle, like a hotel castle, is absolutely like just romantic in and of itself.
Was Australia going to be your number 2?
I don't know. I don't want to do Canada dirty like that. Like, Canada's pretty great too.
Yeah.
And Nigeria, I'm sure, as well. This is tough. But yeah, I think Ireland is going to be, I don't know. Well, why don't you convince me with Australia?
I mean, if New Zealand is your number 1.
Yeah.
And I know that New Zealand and Australia are very different.
Yeah.
But like, imagine
I really
doing
want
like,
to go to New Zealand.
imagine doing like a liveaboard for the Great Barrier Reef.
That's true.
And getting to see all of that different, even if it's just like, well, no matter if you're snorkeling or scuba diving. But then also, like, some of our best travel moments involve wildlife.
Yeah.
And all of the wildlife that is in Australia.
That's fair. But that also means snakes and spiders. And they don't do those, like,
Hey, the bug cup.
lightly.
The bug cup works. And also, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I do consider myself to be an amateur snake charmer.
Oh, stop it. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Christopher will say this stuff like all the time. And I'm like, okay.
Well,
Have you ever touched a snake?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Yeah, semi-professionally.
Okay.
So yeah, don't worry about that at all. I'll be able to very easily take care of that.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, I mean, Australia's huge, obviously.
Yeah.
But between the cities, like imagine spending New Year's Eve in Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
2 of our friends did that last year.
That would be
and
cool.
It looked incredible.
Yeah.
They went to the Great Barrier Reef.
Mm-hmm.
They did so many other things.
You can also go to the Outback too and like see like all of the really cool stuff. That's where a lot of the wildlife is. And
yeah.
I
think that I'm going to fight hard for Australia here.
No, I think all right. I'll give you Australia.
You'll give me Australia.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Okay, so Australia number 1. Is Ireland number 2 then?
Yeah. What about
Over
you?
Canada. You're pretty.
I'm pretty like, I mean, dang it. Because Canada's so big too, and there's some cool stuff there. But I think I'm going to go with Ireland. I think you got the classic old castles and like charming countryside, and then it's just beautiful.
I'll agree with that
Very
because Canada is so big
Mm-hmm.
that like you could end up bopping around to a lot of different places rather than like just being able to kind of like shrink it down.
I will say at the start of the episode, did we mention that we're using the destinations that are part of the World Cup teams?
I thought we mentioned that.
Okay,
Maybe we
well,
didn't.
if we haven't, that's why we're not just like out of pocket coming up with random countries.
That's true.
These are the Women's World Cup teams.
I think I
we're
mentioned that we're
comparing.
making our way through the bracket and all that
Okay,
kind of stuff.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that was clear before we keep going on, and people are like, "Why are they just talking about random places?"
Yeah. People are waiting to hear their country. Sorry, you didn't make the Women's World Cup. All right, Group C. Japan, Costa Rica, Spain, and Zambia.
This is tough.
This is tough.
This is impossible.
We were just in Zambia.
We were just in Zambia. I mean, briefly, but beautiful place.
My number oof.
Okay, I think I know what my number 1 is.
I know what my number 1 is too. What's yours?
Costa Rica.
Agreed. Okay. Why Costa Rica?
I love Costa Rica. Beautiful. I mean, there's a reason why it's a popular destination, especially from folks here in the U.S. to go to. I mean, it's one of the most biodiverse places in the world. I absolutely loved where we stayed. Playa Nicuesa.
Playa Nicuesa.
Playa Nicuesa. sorry, I don't speak Spanish. Rainforest Lodge, absolutely stunning. With the open air lodge, and then it's right on the beach, and it's just in the rainforest as well. It's absolutely stunning. Not only that, you've got La Fortuna, so you've got the volcanoes, and you've got the adventure with like the zip lining and the whitewater rafting, the coffee farms, the beaches. It's just there's so much. I mean, the Caribbean and Pacific beaches. It's just a stunning country. Lots of great wildlife. You can't go wrong with sloths. You know what I mean?
Costa Rica packs a punch.
It does.
It's a tinier country, but it packs a punch.
It's got so much, and I really love it. So I feel like as a romantic getaway, that's an easy call for that.
So,
yeah.
Just to kind of put it in perspective, because like in Group B, we were talking about Australia. Mm-hmm. Our friend who they went to both Australia and Costa Rica, mm-hmm. And I asked them, like, how did it compare? Right? Is Australia up near the top? And they said that like it still couldn't touch Playa Nicuesa.
Oh,
isn't that wild?
Costa Rica was great.
Costa Rica was great.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Number 2, is it Japan, Spain, or Zambia?
Yikes. I mean, I really want to go to Japan.
Uh-huh.
But if it's going to go up against Spain, that's pretty tough because Spain is a very romantic
It's Spain for me.
Destination.
It's Spain for me.
I'm going to go with Spain.
I agree.
I think you've got wine regions, of course, the beaches, you've got all of the islands, like you've got Mallorca, you've got like Ibiza or Ibiza. Then you have the cool cities.
You clubbing?
No, people go for their honeymoon. Like it's not. It's kind of like there's that island in what is it, Koh Samui or something like that, or Koh Phanom or something.
Koh Samui reminds me of Meet the Parents.
I know it does. Like Koh Phanom, like everyone thinks that's like the full moon party beaches, and there's parties, but there's like places where you like don't have to party too.
Jack speaks Thai? Oh yes, Greg. Jack speaks Thai very well.
Okay. Moving on from that. But yeah, I mean, Spain, it's got exciting cities. I spent 10 days in Spain years ago, and I absolutely loved everywhere we went. I mean, the food was top notch. Just the sangria, the flamenco, like going to Sevilla was like so beautiful.
Yeah.
Again, lots of like old cities and just beautiful places. I would love to go and explore Rioja and the Basque country of Spain.
Uh-huh.
I kind of would love to see both the Basque country of Spain and France. That would be a really fun trip.
Cool.
But yeah, Spain, I mean,
awesome.
It's hard to go wrong with Spain, I guess.
I
agree. It's
agree.
easy to make a romantic getaway out of Spain.
It was Spain for me as well.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Group D, England, China, Haiti, and Denmark. Kind of an interesting group of countries here.
Yeah.
What is your first one?
What was the first one again?
England,
Okay.
China,
Okay.
Haiti, and Denmark.
I guess I'm going to go with England. Because kind of similar to Ireland, beautiful. I mean, England's got quite a lot to offer.
The nature, the natural part, or the natural
yeah,
parks.
like you've got the Lake District. You've got the Cotswolds, which are super charming little towns and things. You've got the castles. London is epic. Yeah, I mean, you can go out to Cornwall where there's lots of things there. Like it's more like Celtic-y and stuff. And then you've got, go up north. Lake District, lots of great hiking, scenery.
I'll choose England as well.
History, Bath, things like that. So I would go with England.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's your number 2 here?
Yikes.
Mine is China.
China
was very close to being number 1 too.
Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, good food, great. There's tons of cities. You've got the Great Wall of China. Beijing, Sichuan province, which has very spicy food, which would be delicious. The opportunity to see pandas at the Chengdu Research Center.
I mean, just being able to experience something from like a U.S. perspective that is so different, right?
Yeah, but there's also, I mean, there's a lot of different. I mean, there's lots of things to see in China because it's such a massive country as well. I mean, there's also mountains and beautiful scenery. They have their own like rainbow mountain situation instead of in Peru, like in Peru.
Yeah. I like China.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right. So that fills out the one side of the bracket here.
Okay.
Group E, the USA,
Okay.
Netherlands, the Portugal. Come on, get it together. Portugal or Vietnam. 1, 2, 3. Vietnam.
Yeah.
Easy.
I know.
Easy.
And the U.S. was my number one for a honeymoon just because you've got like Hawaii and Alaska and like really great beaches and great mountains and stuff. But Vietnam is such a great romantic getaway. I mean, we did Halong Bay. Like we cruised along that. It was so romantic. That was during our honeymoon.
Yeah. The Hanoi Old Quarter.
Hanoi Old Quarter is beautiful. There's Hoi An and there's, yeah, I mean, then you've got Ho Chi Minh City. I mean, there's caves and there's mountains and Sapa and like all these beautiful places that you can go and explore.
Yeah.
I think the scenery alone is just gorgeous. And then the people are super nice. The food's really good. You can't go wrong with it. Yeah. I mean, the fact that like waking up in the morning and doing Tai Chi on our like on the top deck in Halong Bay as the sun's rising was just epic. And the first morning, a lot of people there. The second morning after people drank the night before, including ourselves, we were the only 2 people up there. So it was like having our own private Tai Chi session.
It was the 2 of us and the instructor.
Yeah.
And I was very honored to be asked to be the assistant instructor.
No, you weren't. Oh my gosh. Would you stop it? I'm a bit of an amateur Tai Chi person. Good grief.
Does Tai Chi once. And I also will say that I do not believe I did it well.
No.
But it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Is the U.S. your second?
What are the other ones again?
Netherlands and Portugal.
Man.
This is tough.
This is tough. I think I'm going to go Portugal for a romantic getaway this time.
What has changed in the past 30 episodes?
Well, I feel like because I chose the U.S. sort of as like a honeymoon destination.
Uh-huh.
And it certainly is. But I feel like Portugal, like for another romantic getaway, like I feel like a romantic getaway, you're not getting away as long as you would necessarily. Portugal,
ooh, that's a fair.
It's a smaller country. It's got, you can go up to Porto and the wine country there, the Douro Valley. You can go down to the beaches. You've got, again, more beautiful castles. Lisbon's beautiful. I mean,
so if you're
the tile work everywhere, it's just such good, again, food and drinks and music and dancing. And it's just like a beautiful romantic place to go and visit. I love Portugal, so yeah.
I've never been to Portugal.
Yeah.
I would love to go to Portugal.
We were supposed to go in 2020.
Man, the
R.I.P.
U.S. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, again, I mean, if I'm going to think of our best 1-week trip in the U.S., it's Vermont.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So was Vermont, you've been to both. Was Vermont more romantic than you think Portugal could be?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Wow. Take that, Vermont.
No, I love Vermont. Glacier was great too, but I think Portugal's pretty cool.
Let's do Portugal.
All right.
I wrote it down. Group F. France. Here we go. Brazil.
Okay.
Jamaica and Panama.
Okay. I mean, my number one is probably...
I know.
Well, because Paris, I'm sorry, you just can't... And then you've got the south of France, which is amazing, and the Alps are gorgeous.
Have you been to France?
Yes. Bordeaux, Burgundy. I'm just going to go with France on this one. What about you?
I'm not going to be able to change your mind on this, so I'm not even going to try.
Okay.
I loved France.
Yeah.
I'm
already looking at, like, a potential trip to the Loire Valley next year, and I saw a castle on Airbnb.
Okay, let's.
And your girl's like, I might be renting that out.
All right, let's rate it in here. Brazil, Jamaica, or Panama?
I'm gonna go Jamaica.
Ooh, I'm gonna go Brazil.
Okay, because Jamaica for me sounds like a fantastic place for a romantic getaway. Not only does it have a ton of like all-inclusive resorts for couples if that's what you want to do, but you've got like Dunn's River Falls, and you've got all these cool little towns and just beautiful nature inside the island, and you've got all the snorkeling and the beautiful beaches around the island. So like it's really hard to beat a romantic getaway to Jamaica.
Beaches, nature, wildlife.
Yeah.
Is what I'm thinking for Brazil.
Yeah.
Brazil has some of the best beaches in the world.
Yeah, but I don't know if the water, because it's like the Atlantic, but it's not in the Caribbean, so I don't know
wow.
how clear the water is. Like the Caribbean has got some crystal clear, beautiful, stunning water.
Where does the Atlantic rank on your favorite oceans?
I have no idea, Christopher. I haven't
Okay.
thought about it that much.
Wow. All right. Always have to be prepared for those types of questions.
Okay.
You're pretty set on Jamaica?
I think so. What about you?
What is your top travel experience of all time?
I mean, the Amazon.
Where is the Amazon?
But I haven't been able to, like, have you found some really cool, like, Brazilian Amazon lodges?
I haven't really looked at them.
Because I feel like Peru is stacked with them. But, like, I don't know. I remember us
Get it together, Brazil.
No, I'm not saying that Brazil... But Brazil's Amazon is huge. So, like, where do you even start? You know what I mean? I'm sure there are lodges there. We just haven't really researched it.
Brazil has an area, and I cannot remember what... Oh, gosh, this is going to bother me. I can't remember what it is. I've talked about it on episodes before, that has, like, incredible density of wildlife.
The Amazon?
No, there's the intro. No, it's like a smaller national park in Brazil, and I can't think of what it's called right now, but that's where I would start for lodges.
Okay.
And which is incredibly helpful, right? Yeah.
For
The
you guys
smaller
listening.
unnamed national park. I'll give Jamaica to you.
Okay.
I don't feel good about it.
Okay. All right. What's
No, I
next?
would love to go to Jamaica. Alrighty, Group G. Sweden,
Okay.
South Africa, Italy, Argentina.
Oh my gosh.
This is another heavy
That's
hitter.
another stacked one.
Yeah,
I gotta go Italy.
I do too.
Italy, so good. I mean, I feel like Italy's self-explanatory. Amazing. Like, I can't. It's great.
Piedmont, Roma Sparita,
Rome,
Mia
Bologna.
More.
I mean,
Mia More.
the Cinque Terre, the like Sicily and Sardinia and like Puglia. I don't know. Italy's just amazing. It's beautiful. The food is great.
Love it. Love it, love it, love
Just
it.
beautiful.
Number 2,
Oh, I didn't even talk about Florence. Number 2,
Sweden, South Africa, or Argentina?
South Africa for sure.
South Africa, I'll go with as well.
Love South Africa. We've been twice at this point. Safaris, Cape Town, the winelands, Johannesburg, the garden route. Hansby is really beautiful, as well as Hermanus.
And I think that, so for me, and this is nothing against Sweden, but like Argentina won my honeymoon bracket last time we did this.
But they were against different countries.
They
too.
were all against
Yeah.
different countries, right? But going back to South Africa, I think like really solidified just how special of a country that is.
Mm-hmm.
It really, really is. I mean,
Yeah. I think it's also a fantastic country if you want to go on safari and like do other things. It's a fantastic destination to go to, especially your first time. This is your first time ever in Africa.
yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Group H.
Is this the last group?
It is.
Okay.
Germany, Colombia, Korea, and Morocco. This is another stacked group.
Oh, these are good. I'm gonna go with Colombia.
Okay.
The trip that never was for us. Romantic, of course. They're, again, mountains, beaches, cool cities, great food. It's very inexpensive. Like, it's a great city for that. But they have great national parks, the chance to go to the Amazon rainforest. I feel like Colombia has a lot of things to offer that you could easily make either a short getaway or even a longer romantic getaway for. So Colombia is my number 1.
I'm going to fight back on this one.
Okay.
Morocco.
Okay.
What is one of your like top most romantic
But
things that
Colombia
you
is up there too.
What
for
is
me.
what is one of your top most romantic things you want to do?
Spending the night in the Sahara?
Under the stars.
Yeah.
Where can you do that?
I get it. But what's your top travel experience ever? Colombia or in the Amazon rainforest?
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, all the great beaches, like,
Can we go Colombia 1, Morocco 2?
sure.
Okay.
Morocco has a lot to offer as well.
All right. Colombia 1, Morocco 2.
All right, now we're getting into we're in round 2.
Yes. All righty. So first things first, New Zealand or Spain?
Yikes. Oh, I know it's going to get tougher from here because these are all
Yeah.
great places.
Yeah.
Do you have one in mind?
I do.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Spain. Yep.
Okay.
Why did you sound so confident when you said it?
Again, I think New Zealand's fantastic, but I think for a romantic getaway, maybe Spain. I mean, it definitely packs in all the typical romance with the wine and the dancing and the beaches and like islands and cool stuff.
Spain is one of those countries that I've just always romanticized.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough to beat Spain.
Yeah.
For me. Alrighty. England or Ireland?
Ireland.
Ireland as well.
For sure.
Yep.
There's just a lot more. Nothing against England, but I just feel like it's smaller density. I think it's greener, and I think it's easier to do like a nice road trip around Ireland and all that stuff. So I think that would be really lovely for a romantic getaway.
Costa Rica or Switzerland?
Costa Rica.
Agreed.
Again, Costa Rica's epic.
Costa Rica is going to be another hard one.
It's really hard
beat.
one to beat because Costa Rica is really cool.
Australia or China?
Australia.
Okay.
Great Barrier Reef, Daintree.
Agreed. Let me write these down.
Okay.
Hold on one moment.
Nope. Gonna move it on.
This is going to be a tough one.
Okay.
Vietnam or South Africa? For a romantic getaway.
I think South Africa for me.
Why?
It is so romantic.
It is, but
your own little tent, like glamping luxury tent in the middle of the like a safari destination, seeing animals up close, like dinner under the stars every night, like. Then you have the wine region where you can rent like charming little cottages and go to the wine areas, and Cape Town's really epic. I mean, it's really hard because Vietnam is really amazing too, but I think South Africa is going to get it for me. What about you?
So for me, I was thinking more like one of the things that always bonds me to you in like a romantic getaway is kind of having this idea that we're like forging a path together sort of thing. Like it's just you and me. And for whatever reason, I mean, I think that elements of South Africa, especially like Cape Town or that sort of thing, feel a bit more like what we're used to here in the States, as opposed to what Vietnam was. Like Vietnam, like I'm thinking like Bai Tu Long Bay, right? I had never seen anything like that in my life. Not that I like see leopards in the wild, but I don't know. For me, like Vietnam felt so otherworldly that it was very much like, oh my gosh, like unless Kat was with me right now, no one would believe me about this, right? Like no one would believe that I'm sitting on this like red plastic kindergarten chair slurping noodles at like 10:30 at night, right? But like it's so
it's a bonding experience, I guess, to go through that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I can concede.
I can see South Africa too, though, because
they're heavy hitters. Like
they are two heavy hitters.
I do agree that Vietnam does have some epic landscapes. I mean, you also have the hills of Sapa and stuff like that too, and just everything. I mean, it's just beautiful. There's beautiful towns and cities, and it is a beautiful place. So.
But like, I mean, there's certainly also elements that like I would say maybe detract from that, right? Like it's not like you're having a nice peaceful dinner in the middle of the city like you could in Cape Town, right? You're hearing motorbikes, you're inhaling, like you can smell petrol.
Yeah, but like in the cities, but there are also lots of beautiful countryside areas too. So
we've pled our cases. Where are you leaning?
I think I might lean towards Vietnam now.
I think I'm going to lean towards Vietnam as well, just for that bonding sort of thing. Alrighty. Colombia or Jamaica?
Colombia. Easy. It has so much. It looks like a beautiful, stunning country. And it's going to be cheaper than like going to your all-inclusive. But if you're an all-inclusive person, certainly Jamaica. But if not, I think Colombia is fantastic.
I'll go with Colombia as well.
Yeah.
Italy or Portugal?
Italy.
You've been to both.
Italy.
What sets Italy apart that quickly for you?
I mean, they're both great, but I do feel like Italy sort of has like, I don't know. I think there's more to see because it's bigger, and it's just like being this like peninsula essentially with islands. Like it just has lots of great beaches everywhere you want to go. Both popular and off the beaten path. You've got like, of course, all the history, especially in Florence with the cradle of like the Renaissance and the wine regions. There's like lots of them all over Italy that are great. So I think that just kind of is more romantic. You got Venice. I didn't even bring that up. Like all of that's just beautiful. So
Okay.
I think I'm going to go with Italy.
That works. I'm going to trust you. You've been to both.
Okay.
France or Morocco? Don't act like you're actually thinking. You know you're going to
France.
say France. Come on.
France isn't going to win it for me, though. I can tell you. I don't think. Yeah.
I mean,
I do love it, though.
So these last two, there are two countries that I have been to that just like, for me, ooze romance. And that is Italy and France.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so hard not to feel as though you're in like a romantic movie.
It's hard not to get swept up in it.
It is.
No matter where you are, like.
It's just like, if you asked someone to define romance or something that's romantic or something like that, to me, that's Italy and France. It is. Whereas like some of these others, like how we've kind of touted Costa Rica or South Africa or Vietnam or those sorts of things, it's a different type of romance. These are just the two classics for me. Alrighty. Now we're into the quarterfinals.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Now this is where the brackets just got all sorts of messed up. So let me see what we're doing here. We are doing for this game, it is going to be Spain versus Vietnam.
Dang.
Yeah. So like we just talked about Vietnam at length.
We also talked about Spain at length.
Right. But like, why I viewed Vietnam as like so romantic. It's something that not, unless people have been there, they don't like, they can't really picture it or they don't know what it is rather than, and like, I mean, I think certainly the same thing for Spain, but I don't know.
I think I'm going to go to Vietnam.
I'm going to go Vietnam as well. Although that is, that's tough. Taking Spain out. Alrighty. Let me see here. Costa Rica versus Italy.
My goodness. Get out of here. Get out of here. I think I'm going to go with Italy.
I'm going to go with Italy as well.
It does. It was romance as much as I love Costa Rica.
I am normally a person who I look at my watch. Right? Like I like to know what time it is. I like to know how long we've been at places, that kind of stuff. I like to know how much time I have until like the next thing. Italy is a country that I did not look at my watch once. It was like I was happy with 3-hour dinners after 3-hour dinners.
Yeah.
And it was just great.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Italy.
Okay. And this is 8 teams this time, right? Or
yes.
We pick 8. Okay.
Yep. Alrighty. The next one is Australia versus France.
I think I hate to do this, but I think I'm going to pick Australia.
I was thinking France. Why
really?
Did you? Yeah.
I just think sort of the adventurous bits of it too. I mean, you do have the beautiful beaches and stuff, but you've got like the Great Barrier Reef. You've got the cool cities. You've got the outback and like just lots of cool. I mean, wine country as well. Like lots of neat things to explore in Australia. Other than, I mean, obviously France has wine country, but
and beaches in the south of France and beautiful cities in Paris and
but
etc.
It's not as adventurous as far as like. Oh, that's true. I was gonna say because France does have like the mountains and like. 2 sets of they have like the Pyrenees and the Alps and
was this more of a
I think for romance all right
it's a France. Romantic getaway.
France because then I just pictured like the south of France and the lavender fields and the beautiful towns and the historic places and then the cool beach towns and
okay alrighty
all right France, I see you.
Wow. I never thought that I would see the day where I had to convince you that France was better than another country. Alrighty. The next one is Ireland versus Colombia.
Oh, goodness.
That was adorable.
Fiddlesticks.
Colombia.
Colombia.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. So our final 4 here
Okay.
are Vietnam, Italy, France, and Colombia.
Those are all some romantic places.
Okay. Vietnam or Italy?
I think I'm still going to go with Italy. It's great.
Oh, this one's tough for me.
I think Italy. Because Italy is just like, it does ooze romance. And there is a lot to see and do. And there are some beautiful, like, natural structures throughout. But it's also, I mean, again, we even have the mountains in Italy, too. You've got the beaches and the food and the wine. And it's just, it is romantic.
Is Hanoi more romantic than Rome?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Are elements of Vietnam more romantic than... Like, what was the most romantic thing we did in Vietnam on our honeymoon?
I would say the Halong Bay, especially watching the sunset.
By Long Bay.
Yeah, which part of Halong Bay, yeah.
Right, but like I would say that specific portion. Yeah. What was the most romantic thing we did in Italy?
Ooh. I mean, I think the wine tour was lovely.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like the Alba, Piedmont, that region. Was By Long Bay more romantic than Alba?
Yeah, but Rome is more romantic than like
Hanoi.
Yeah. I think city to city comparison, Italy, for sure.
I agree with that.
The food in both places is delicious, but I think I'm gonna lean to Italy.
By Long Bay does not trump it by that much.
No.
Okay.
Unfortunately, but it's great.
I agree with you. I just wanted to push you a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, Vietnam has its own style of romance. I think that it was an incredibly romantic destination for our honeymoon. And maybe it was just like with a little bit more perspective that we went to Italy. But it was tough. I mean, yeah, it's hard to top that. Italy as well for me there. France or Colombia?
Yikes. I feel like this is tough because it's like Colombia, you definitely have more nature stuff. Like you've got, again, you've got Caribbean beaches, there's Pacific beaches, there is the Amazon rainforest, the mountains, the coffee regions. But then in France, you've got beaches in the north and south as well. You've got all the mountains, you've got the cool cities, you've got gastronomy, you've got the all the wine regions, and then of course Paris. This is tough. This one's a tough one. What is your initial reaction?
Well, I remember that we had an Italy versus France episode.
We're about to fight again.
And I remember that I said Italy and you said France.
Yeah.
For a romantic trip, man.
But think of I will say that the experiences probably from Colombia would probably be like bonding experience. But I know it's tough because France is also.
So that's what I'm thinking about too, right? Like it's we have not been to coffee farms in Colombia, but the one in Costa Rica, pretty darn romantic.
Pretty romantic.
Man, like my head says France. I think that Paris is the most romantic city in the world, at least that I've been to.
Take that, Rome.
Yeah, go to bed, Rome.
No,
but for whatever reason, my heart wants to say Colombia without having been there.
I feel like Colombia could be a big contender because a lot of people have been raving about it. It's also affordable, like it's pretty cheap.
Yeah,
to
but
travel
throw
with.
all that stuff out.
But I will say that it's more tropical too, so I think it does depend on what you want.
I mean, it would be...
Yes, you get beaches in France, but it's not necessarily like tropical like the Caribbean would be. You know what I mean?
Right. Throw the cost out.
Okay.
Because like I don't care how much it like I'm talking about when I'm there. Is it romantic? For whatever reason, my heart wants to say Colombia.
Let's just do Colombia then.
What do you think?
I actually think it could be Colombia. As much as I love France,
we are building up Colombia.
Yeah. Well,
in our heads.
The trip that never was. We've got to go there soon. All right.
Hold on. I will say that I also really built up Uganda Like that was on like the world's champion Jenga tower with how high I had Uganda, and it exceeded those expectations. So maybe Colombia's doing the same thing here. So you want to say Colombia for this one?
Yep.
Alrighty. So
Last
for
one.
third place, Vietnam versus France.
I will go with France on this one because it was tough between that and Colombia. Yeah, I'm doing France.
Oh.
Yeah.
Paris versus Hanoi, I would say Paris.
Yeah.
But man, I don't know. Like,
I think
back to being on.
I think France personally. Just more beachy. I mean, there are beaches also in Vietnam, but I just feel like.
Think back to the cruise in Bai Long Bay.
Yeah.
If that was your most romantic thing that we did in Vietnam, think about that, right? Like.
But I just think it does have a hard time comparing to like going to the Luberon and like the lavender fields and the mountains like in the south of France, like the beautiful like rolling hills and the ochre path and Roussillon and like the mountains. I don't know. I think I'm going to go with France.
I'll go with France.
Yeah.
All right. The championship.
The final.
Italy versus Colombia.
You know, I will say that in my heart I was going to go with Italy at first.
Okay.
I actually think Colombia might be more. Like, if Colombia beat out France, it's definitely going to beat Italy. No, I'm just kidding.
Canceled.
No, I'm just kidding. I love both. But
wow, it doesn't sound like it.
I actually think Colombia, because it kind of does have something for everyone. It's got those tropical beaches.
Yeah, but I don't care that it has something for everyone.
Yeah, but it's also got these really exciting cities. It does have this like food culture as well, and it's. You've got the chance to go to the Amazon rainforest and get adventurous and things like that. But then you've also got like the chill, relaxing beaches and the cool national parks. And then so I don't know.
Yeah, and Italy has Barolo.
It's fair. That one's tough. That's true. And you've got like Venice and this is tough. And then you've got all the cities in Italy and the regions and the beauty and crap. Maybe I will lean towards Italy.
Wow.
So are you Italy?
Oh, my head says Italy again, just like my head said France. Mm-hmm. I think my heart says Italy as well, though, here.
Okay.
I really do think so.
Fair enough. Italy is extremely romantic. So if you're planning a romantic getaway, I feel like you can't go wrong with Italy. It's stunning. Whether you want to go to the mountains up north, or if you want to explore the beautiful cities or head to the beaches or an island or what have you, I feel like Italy really offers a lot for romance.
So our top four here were Italy, Italy, then Colombia, then France, then Vietnam.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with that.
Me too.
I will also say that my revenge is now complete.
We get it.
After we recorded France versus Italy, and now I have finally gotten you to come around
to I love
Italy.
both. But let us know your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think of this bracket? Should we do more of these, I guess, another time? Just let us know your thoughts. What are your favorite romantic destinations around the world? You can always let us know on Twitter, WW Honeymoon, Instagram, at Instagram and Facebook at Worldwide Honeymoon, and Threads now at Worldwide Honeymoon, or you can email Kat at worldwidehoneymoon.com. But thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to rate and review our podcast. It takes less than a few minutes and really helps other people find us. Also, if you're enjoying this awesome free information on both the blog and podcast, when you're booking your next trip, head over to worldwidehoneymoon.com/resources and use the links provided. We earn a small commission at no cost to you when you book through these links, and these are all brands and companies we know, love, and use, like Skyscanner for finding the best flight prices, World Nomads for the best travel insurance, TripAdvisor for hotel bookings and reviews, and even Amazon for all of your travel purchases.
Thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Wherever you are, wherever you go, remember to make every day a worldwide honeymoon.